Are you missing the old days of playing spread in Pokemon TCG? Well, Dragapult EX may be the thing for you. Dragapult EX is a new card that's introduced into the F format that allows you to not only attack for huge numbers, but be able to put 6 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you'd like. This happens every turn with every single attack, and utilizing Technical Machine De-Evolution, you're able to knock those Pokemon out of the bench super easily. Unlike my usual videos where I go over tournament results and I show you how to play the meta deck, we're going to take a step forward and kind of preview a deck that's going to be coming out soon. With the release of Twilight Masquerade, we got Dragapult EX, a new EX Pokemon that's going to be introduced into the Pokemon TCG F format. Dragapult EX has been dominating overseas in Japan and honestly is going to take the rest of the world by storm as well. Dragapult EX is a Dragon-type Pokemon with 320 HP. It has an attack for 1 colorless called Jet Headbutt that does 70 damage, as well as another attack called Phantom Dive for 200 damage for a fire and a psychic. When you attack with Phantom Dive, you put 6 damage counters on your opponent's benched Pokemon in any way you'd like. Now, when talking to friends, we have some other ideas of how you would normally build the deck, but I don't want to give that to you guys just yet because I honestly don't know if that's going to be good enough. So for now, we're going to go based off Japanese results. In the Champions League on May 4th, it looks like there's a couple of Dragapult lists that seem to be doing a lot better than others. It looks like that a lot of people are pairing Dragapult EX with Xatu. Xatu is a stage 1 psychic Pokemon with 100 HP. It has the ability Clairvoyant Sense. Once during your turn, you may attach a basic psychic energy from your hand onto one of your benched Pokemon. If you attached energy to a Pokemon this way, draw 2 cards. Pairing Xatu's ramp and draw ability with the new Dracloak, which has the ability Telling Spirit that says once during your turn you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one of them into your hand and the one onto the bottom of your deck, allows you to be very consistent when drawing cards and just has a very good engine overall. Because this is a stage 2 deck, while you are playing 2 rare candies, you do run 4 Dreppy and 4 Dracloaks, as well as 3 Dragapult EXs. The stage 1 Dracloak allows for so much draw advantage that while you want to eventually evolve them up into Dragapult EX, you can keep them on the bench as Dracloaks to essentially go through a lot of your deck. Now on to the deck list. For this deck we're going to be running 4 Dreppy, 4 Dracloak, 3 Dragapult EX, 2 Natu, 2 Xatu, 2 Rotom V, 1 Radiant Alakazam, and 1 Manaphy. For the trainers, we're going to be running about 34. You'll be running 4 Arven, 3 Iono, 2 Boss's Orders, 4 Buddy Buddy Poffin, 3 Nest Ball, 3 Earthen Vessel, 2 Ultra Ball, 2 Rare Candy, 1 Super Rod, 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball, 1 Switch, 1 Enhanced Hammer, 1 Counter Catcher, 1 Unfair Stamp that'll be released in this set, 1 Technical Machine Evolution, 1 Technical Machine De-Evolution, 1 Rescue Board, 1 Forest Sealstone, and 1 Collapse Stadium. Lastly, for energy, we're going to be running about 7. We'll be running 4 Psychic Energy and 3 Fire Energy. I expect this deck to change a lot from day 1, especially because Rotom Vs may not be the best in the beginning to get set up, even though it performs really well for Charizard. We do want to refill our hand as much as possible and utilize Natu and Xatu, but honestly, we could definitely see it not being in the list. Radiant Alakazam is going to help you hit those magic numbers to make sure you get the knockouts on your opponent's Pokemon, so don't be afraid to put it onto the bench and move around damage counters so that Dragapult EX can get the knockouts. This deck is going to play very similarly to Gardevoir in the aspect of you have a lot of utility Pokemon, along with your stage 1 Dracloak being super valuable, kind of like how Kirlia is. You want to get about 3 Dreppies into play, that way you can have extra Dracloaks and also Dragapult EXs ready to go with Technical Machine Evolution. Your goal here is to get kind of an attacking Dragapult out ASAP, while also being able to use Dracloak to make sure your deck is very consistent. Xatu allows you to not only evolve into a Dragapult in 1 turn, but attach a Fire and then use Xatu to attach a Psychic right away. Unfair Stamp's going to help you if you get behind, as it's one of the more control-y ace specs that works really well in this deck. Unlike Gardevoir though, you do not have 1 prize attackers and you do not trade 1 prize attackers. This deck is all about the Dragapult EX as your attacker, and you want to set up for massive knockouts. The next deck we'll be going over is Dragapult Lost Zone Box. Dragapult Lost Zone Box is a deck that's doing very well in Japan right now, and combines Dragapult's very strong attacks and Dracloak's very strong ability with the robustness of Lost Zone Box. If you want a full review of what Lost Zone Box does, I have a video that I made from last Standard that goes over the ins and outs of Lost Zone. While the decks aren't up to date, the general playstyles stay the same. But for a quick reminder, the deck revolves around using Comfy to put cards into the Lost Zone along with Colress's Experiment. Comfy allows you to look at the top 2 cards and put one into your hand and the other into the Lost Zone. Your main attackers for that are Cramorant, which can attack for free if you have 4 or more cards in the Lost Zone. Its normal attack is 3 energy for 110. Getting 4 cards in the Lost Zone is very easy for this style of deck, so you'll always be attacking for free with Cramorant. The other attacker in the list that utilizes the Lost Zone is Sableye. Sableye has the attack Lost Mine. For 1 Psychic, you could put 12 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you'd like, but you can only use this if you have 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone. This pairs really well with Dragapult, being able to put 6 damage counters on things anytime you attack. So not only do you do damage up front, which is around 200, but being able to follow up with Sableye allows you to get a lot of knockouts onto the bench. The last card that this deck utilizes that interacts with the Lost Zone is Mirage Gate. Mirage Gate allows you to search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards of different types and attach them to Pokemon in any way you'd like, then shuffle your deck. You can only use this card if you have 7 or more cards in the Lost Zone. The reason why this is important is that since Dragapult requires a Fire and a Psychic to attack, you can easily use Mirage Gate to get a Dragapult EX charged up and ready to attack. The Lost Zone engine is fantastic, and the fact that it's being paired with Dragapult EX is a given. Being able to take advantage of the Lost Zone package plus Dragapult as your attacker to soften things up makes the deck just even more of a menace to go up against. Here's the deck list. We'll start with 19 Pokemon, 4 Dreppy, 3 Dracloak, and 3 Dragapult EX. You'll be running 4 Comfy, 2 Cramorant, 1 Sableye, 1 Radiant Charizard, and 1 Manaphy. For trainers, you're going to be running 33. You'll be running 4 Colress's Experiment, 2 Iono, 2 Boss's Orders, 4 Buddy Buddy Poffin, 4 Switch Cart, 3 Mirage Gate, 2 Nest Ball, 2 Rare Candy, 2 Switch, 2 Super Rod, 1 Pokegear 3.0, 1 Counter Catcher, 1 Prime Catcher, 1 Rescue Board, 1 Artisan, and 1 Temple of Sinnoh. For energy in this list, we run 8. We run 3 Fire Energy, 3 Psychic Energy, and 2 Jet Energy. Overall, I would say that the Lost Zone Dragapult list is very interesting in the way that it plays, and it might be my go-to build until we get a better overall streamlined Dragapult list. The card selection is huge. Not only do you have Comfy to be able to put stuff in the Lost Zone if you no longer need it into your deck, but being able to use Dracloak to put cards onto the bottom as well is very, very good to make sure that you hit the cards that you need in the time that you need them. I would definitely say that for day 1, this is a very safe deck to play. For your turn 1, you're going to try to get as many Comfy and Dreppy set up as possible. You probably want around 2 and 2. Your goal is to be able to use Comfy early to be able to put cards into the Lost Zone and find the cards you need, while using Dreppy to set up Dracloak and Dragapult is definitely your way to go. You can get this set up using Buddy Buddy Poffin, or just simply using your Nest Balls. Don't be afraid to switch stuff out of the active, as dancing your Comfys around is definitely the way to go to make sure you put cards into the Lost Zone. Also, due to the fact that we run stuff like Mirage Gate, don't be afraid to use your Jet Energy to just get something out of the active that really shouldn't be there. Jet Energy is huge, and while it can also be your attachment for turn, which allows you to also use it as a retreat cost, we have plenty of ways to get other energy out too, so don't worry if it's quote-unquote wasted. Now, unfortunately for this video, we don't really have any gameplays, because a lot of it's really theoretical. Honestly, I think this deck is going to do so well in so many different ways, and Dragapult EX might be the thing that kinda, shakes up the meta a bit, and opens things up for other decks to come in. Are you interested in Dragapult EX? Is it something that you're looking to play day 1? Let me know what type of list you're playing in the comments, and I'll let you know how I feel about it. Honestly, I think Dragapult's going to be super cool, and I'm super excited for the list. If you like this video, feel free to drop a like. If you dislike this video, feel free to dislike. And tell me down below in the comments what your favorite card coming out of this set is. And if you really like these beginner type of videos, or just future site videos overall, Please give a sub to the channel as it helps me grow and figure out what you guys like. Thanks so much and have a great day.